This radio program is PG-13. Parents strongly caution some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13.
The following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Phoenix, Arizona, this is Brother Mike. I'm back on the radio. Welcome to Filthy Fridays on HardcoreChristianity.com. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to 2023. This is going to be a ride you're not going to believe. What a tough year this is going to be. You got to be ready. Real ready. Welcome to the Bible study today. American Anxiety. Today on Hardcore. Hey, will you call somebody and tell them the radio program's on, particularly somebody who suffers from anxiety, fears, and phobias? This would be a great show for them to listen to. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center. Been a counselor for over 40 years here in Maricopa County. Been on the radio for over 20 years here in Maricopa County. HardcoreChristianity.com is the website. If you go there, you'll notice we have all kinds of ministry services. We have 2 live Zoom deliverance services every week, Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock Mountain Time, Arizona time. We have 2 live services every week, Thursday and Friday nights at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 o'clock Arizona time. You'll notice on the website we have a children's healing and deliverance service for March. We have a women's seminar coming up in February. I have a deliverance training class every month on the 4th Saturday of the month at noon at the Deliverance Center. It's in the small sanctuary. Thank you for a great year last year. We broke all of our donation records and very much appreciate your help. You've kept me on the air for a couple of decades here. Please hit the PayPal button and keep supporting us, and I thank you for that. As you well know, I don't take a salary for the ministry. I donate 100% of my salary to Hardcore Christianity, and I always felt that if I asked other people to make a sacrifice, I had to make one myself. So that's what I did. Thank you for our partnership. It is working well. May God richly bless you. American Anxiety. Folks, anxiety disorders are spreading all over the place, as you can imagine, with the level of corruption, the rot, in the satanic rot in our federal government, the uncontrolled wasting of money. I did a radio show on that this week. America's debt. I hope you watched that, or listen to that radio program. It's unbelievable what's happening in this country. The COVID thing is booming again. The new strain came out 2 weeks. Arizona is getting hit with it. We did get some good news. If you need a vaccine exemption form, send me an email, mike@hardcorechristianity.com. I'll send you one out right away. The Court of Appeals ruled that the vaccine exemption forms, religious exemptions, are valid. So if you got fired because they wouldn't accept your exemption, you're eligible to be rehired and get your back pay and back seniority and back benefits. You're eligible to be rehired ASAP. Well done. The country's going to hell in a handbasket. The devil's in complete command now, and it's causing people to be scared. They're developing anxiety disorders everywhere. CDC came out with a recent report. Check this out. 1 in 5 U.S. adults experience a mental illness every year. 1 in 20 develop an SMI, a serious mental illness, every year. Can you imagine that? Once you develop a serious mental illness like bipolar, schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, something of that nature, you cannot be cured. The Holy Ghost can cure you, but you cannot be cured through secular means. And I'm an expert in that field, obviously. I was a secular counselor for 25 years before I went into the ministry. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm one of the few people that knows what he's talking about. There aren't too many people out there. Check this out. 1 in 6 young people between the ages of 6 and 17 experience a mental health disorder every year. Check this out. 50% of all lifetime mental illnesses begin by the age of 14. 75% begin by the age of 24. And suicide is now the second leading cause of death among young people ages 10 to 14. Can you imagine that? 53 million people came down with a mental illness last year. 53 million. There's only 330 million people living in the United States. If you add 30 million illegal immigrants who are not counted, that's still only 360 million people in the United States. 53 million of them came down with a mental illness? You've got to be kidding. That is satanic 100%. 14 million people last year came down with an SMI, a serious mental illness. Once you come down with that, you cannot be cured. This thing's gotten out of hand, folks, and I mean it's deadly, it's serious. Here's what's happening. Fear demons are sweeping the United States because of the stress and trauma of living in this country now, because of the breakdown of our systems of morality and conscience, because of the corruption and the destruction of the federal government, and because of the police state that is developing in the country, where you have the FBI and the law enforcement organizations who are actually criminal organizations, spying on people, persecuting people, and then rigging elections. All this and much more, I haven't even mentioned the economy and inflation, is causing people to panic. And the demons are taking advantage of it. Spirits get into a person's body during periods of trauma, and it's these demons, these fear demons, that are the root cause of anxiety disorders and most mental illnesses. Not all, but most. These fear demons are like whips that Satan uses to keep Christians in line. He uses fear to beat them because people who are afraid and people who have anxiety lose their faith and their prayers don't get answered. Fear spirits are Satan's method of controlling the Christian population. Like whipping you. Like you whip a horse, these fear spirits whip you with anxiety and phobias and insomnia, nightmares, and repetitive bad dreams. Fear demons are extremely dangerous, and they are sweeping the country now. And to give you an idea how bad it is, did you see this report that came out in the paper this week? Tyrell Terry, a professional basketball player from Stanford, he played with the Dallas Mavericks, announced his retirement from the NBA because he has severe anxiety. He was chosen by the Dallas Mavericks as the number 31 overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft. This is what he wrote on his Instagram account. Check this out. Now, understand that when your dream in life is to play a professional sport. If you're an athlete in high school and college, you want to be a pro because it's the ticket to everything. You know, you get all the chicks, you get all the money, you get all the prestige, you get all the fame, you get all the glory, you get the easy life. If you're smart with your money, you never have to work again. I mean, everybody wants to be a professional athlete. That's where you make the big money. And, of course, the super big money is at the NBA or the NFL. Or if you're good enough to be on a world-class soccer team, you can make, obviously, literally millions. And you can have everything. You get all the cars, you get all the homes, you get all the mansions, you get all the vacations, you get all the women, you got friends coming out of your ears. You got everything. So this is the major goal of practically every athlete that ever played a sport. The thought always comes to you, hey, can I be a professional athlete? This guy retires because he has an anxiety disorder and he can't take it anymore. He said on his Instagram account that his NBA career was, quote, the darkest time of my life. I had fallen out of love with the game, he said. Instead of building me up, it began to destroy me. Where I began to despise and question the value of myself much more than those surrounding me could ever see or know. Intrusive thoughts, waking up nauseous, and finding myself struggling to take normal breaths because of that rock that would sit on my chest that seemed to weigh more than I could carry. This is just a brief description of the anxiety this sport has caused me. I sent this guy a message trying to get a hold of him. I told him that I could help him. I haven't heard back from him yet. But this guy is perfectly describing someone infected with fear spirits. These symptoms I have seen hundreds of times in people with anxiety disorders. They have the exact same symptoms because it's caused by the exact same demons. Once these demons are removed from the person's body, all these symptoms that he was talking about, panic attacks, can't breathe normally, heaviness on the chest, pains in the stomach, all these symptoms disappear. What he just described in this Instagram account was exactly what people have told me they experience because of these fear spirits that cause anxiety disorders. This kid came into the league, and believe it or not, he broke the record for the NBA's IQ test. The kid went to Stanford. He's like a genius. And he can't play basketball anymore because he's got an anxiety disorder and he's mentally ill. If you have those symptoms that I described, you can be completely set free and completely cured. I have seen anxiety disorders literally healed hundreds of times. 602-636-5800. If you're a born-again Christian and you're suffering from an anxiety disorder, you have fear spirits. Once those fear spirits are removed, all those symptoms, nightmares, repetitive bad dreams, insomnia, fear, anxiety, phobias, they will all be gone.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.